Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to Cash App, $ Dean by any means. There go to PayPal at Dean by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. You right there. Please don't be an eavesdropper. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Don't be a hater. Don't be an eavesdropper. And everybody that been showing love in the Cash App and the super chats, all that, y'all. Just want to say thank you. It's much appreciated. Y'all already know that's why I keep coming out with this content. Hey, y'all want to know three things that's guaranteed in life? Death, taxes, and Gervonta Davis getting beat up in sparring. Let's talk about it, man. I don't know if y'all seen Brian Norman Jr. been on a little press run after with Jerron Inner said that everybody was ducking him, on X, Y, and Z. And then out of nowhere, Brian Norman Jr. Sr. had to bring up his son beating up Gervonta Davis in sparring 3 different times. Failed to mention that he was a 147 pounder and Gervonta was at 130, but said he beat Gervonta Davis up at 16 years old. He beat him up in sparring, which came out the one that was when he was 16. It was good work, but he says the other two, Gervonta had all of this blood all over him. And you know what's so crazy, y'all? Just like the 10th boxer we have heard, the 10th, the 12th boxer, like one thing I've realized is that everybody beats up Tank and sparring. I've never heard more stories about a fighter getting beat up in sparring than Gervonta Davis. But then he get in the ring and he knock everybody out. I just want to know how both are. Like, how can both be true? It's so funny that everybody can say they beat him up in sparring. When y'all gonna be able to say y'all beat him up in the ring? Devinhaney, shakurstevenson, Frank Martin, Brian Norman Jr. I'm missing a couple more. It's a couple more. Only people that I don't see saying that they got all these sparring stories about Gervonta is dudes from the DC and Baltimore area and the Philly guys. But everybody else be saying that they done beat Gervonta up and he don't want work and he know what it is. And Tank don't hit that hard. I mean, y'all, we have heard everything under the sun, to be honest, when it comes to Gervonta Davis and what goes on in sparring. And it seemed like people, they keep using that as if we care. Bro, we don't care. Bro, we're tired of hearing about this. We don't care. People just got to use that young man name to build their channels, to build, their revenue. And jealousy and envy, y'all. You could be envious and jealous of a person without even knowing that you is. Brian Norman Jr. doing a whole thing about him and Jerron Ennis. If you watch the interview on Mill City, there was literally no reason to bring Gervonta Davis up. Like, there was no reason to even bring Gervonta Davis up. And Brian Norman Sr. couldn't help himself. He couldn't help himself on what happened. Yeah, we got Tank too. Ask Tank, man. You don't go ahead, bro. You got Tank, but you got knocked out by some I forget the boy name. Come on, man. I ain't trying to hear that, man. But then Brian Norman Jr., the same person that says that Gervonta Davis hit harder than Terrence Crawford. So I just be wondering, like, what's true, and what only part we know is true is that he the face of boxing, and all y'all be trying to take bro spot for whatever reason that is. I don't hear Gervonta Davis talk about sparring with none of y'all. He brought up sparring one time, and that's because Blue Blood was sitting up there telling him what Shakur and Devin said about sparring. You don't even hear Gervonta Davis bring up sparring, but everybody bring up Brody name as far as when it come to that. And I'm tired of it. This is like the 15th fighter we have seen do this. When's somebody gonna beat him up in the ring? That's what I ask, because that's the actual job, to beat him up in the ring, not to beat him up in sparring with headgear on, 16-ounce gloves, and all of this stuff. And then dudes always beat them up in sparring, but never get their dates right. Well, it was 2021. It was 1997. Whatever. Then people asking, was Coach Calvin there? Coach Kenny there? Nah, Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny wasn't there. Oh, all right. Then what we talking about, bro? You know why people ask those questions? Because then they know that people going to go back and ask Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny about what happened, and now want to get caught capping. Oh, yeah, Kid Austin, another one that beat Gervonta Davis up in sparring and all this. Like, bro, it's just It's corny at this point. Y'all ever hear about Canelo getting beat up in sparring? I don't think I heard one story about Canelo Alvarez getting beat up in sparring. I don't think I ever heard nobody come out and say, yeah, I was sparring Canelo and I beat Canelo up in sparring. I don't think I ever heard nobody say it. But it's just that they so fixated on Tank, and I know why, because he's the true face of boxing. I get why. You think you're gonna get some clout from him, like even if you're not initially doing that for that reason. Subconsciously, you're envious of the man. Subconsciously, I just gotta tell the world about this Gervonta Davis story. The time I was blessed enough from the gods in heavens to be in a ring with Gervonta Davis, and I gave him a black eye. That's my biggest. Like a lot of these dudes, their biggest accomplishment is a Tank sparring story. And it's just crazy to me, like, because I don't see it on the opposite end, yo. I don't see Gervonta Davis making the same type of content, speaking the same type of way, talking about it the same type of way. I don't see none of that. Did Gervonta Davis say anything that he was doing at the Olympics, helping the kids out? Did he mention any of the tips and any of the things that he was working on with the kids for the United States of America? Now, there's video out of Gervonta Davis talking and mentoring the boxers, but did you hear anything he said? The answer is no to that question, because he don't speak on things like that. And that's how this is the problem that y'all don't get. You was never supposed to be speaking about sparring. So once you start speaking about sparring, you wrong right there. The minute you start speaking about sparring, you wrong. Like I said, y'all, it's three things in life that's guaranteed. You got death, you got taxes, and Gervonta Davis got beat up in sparring for some reason, for some odd reason. I don't know. How a guy, a world-class fighter, one of the best fighters ever, the face of boxing right now, but everybody's just be mopping him up in sparring. Do that make sense? Is that even logical? If y'all are that good, then why it don't work for you in real life? This is what I be wanting to ask a lot of these fighters. If you could beat Gervonta Davis up, you should be able to beat everybody else up, shouldn't you? Then everybody else should be easy work in that ring. But why they not easy work? You got Gervonta Davis bleeding, but not other opponents. I need to know how that worked. How that happened? Or am I supposed to believe it just because you said it? Just because you say something don't mean I gotta believe it. See, this will be happening, y'all. What I really think be happening, they get into sparring, right? And y'all know in a boxing match, you're going to get hit. So they only talk about them finite times that they hit Gervonta Davis. You ever hear on anybody speak and say, Gervonta Davis knocked me out in sparring? Why don't nobody ever get them stories where they got beat up in sparring? It's only been a couple people that Cody Crowley, Jorge Linares. It only been a couple people that actually kept it a stack about what was going on in sparring between them. Kenny Sims, people like that. It's on Jabril Noble. It's only a couple people that keep it a stack about actual things that go on when they be fighting Gervonta Davis and sparring. But everybody else, you see Devinhaney exaggerated to the umpteenth. Shakurstevenson exaggerated what took place between him and Tank. I think T.O. and Tank, he had an exaggerate. Well, T.O., that's what T.O. going to do. So I don't even know why I brought T.O. up. That's what getting T.O. to tell the truth. Boy, you'll see pigs fly first. You hear what I'm saying? I don't believe nothing Teo say. Timothy Bradley still ain't telling me who the hell Teo is, but we gonna get to that at another time. Timothy Bradley, I need to know who is Teo. Anyway, yeah, y'all, I'm just tired of the stories, tired of the capping. Let's say it's not cap. This is boxing. Gervonta Davis has to try to get better. This is boxing. You're going to spar people, and they're going to put the beats on you sometimes. They might have been more energized that day. They may not be dealing with an injury. They may be outweigh you drastically. Who knows? But I hear about these dudes beating up Gervonta Davis and sparring, but then I hear stories about Gervonta Davis beating up light heavyweights and heavyweights and sparring. So who knows, man? I'm just tired of the capping and the foolery. Y'all need to focus on what y'all doing in y'all own goddamn life, as far as when it comes to actual boxing in the ring. Everybody that say they beat up Gervonta Davis in the ring, you see what just happened to Frank Martin. And y'all just saw what happened to Frank Martin. And he was talking this sparring stuff too. and then got made, and then yeah, Gervonta Davis left hand for the knockout. Y'all know what this is though, right? Bing, by any means, and I holla at y'all.